Lady Noble 365 Tarot. Welcome to my channel. I greatly appreciate you being here. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. I trust you will love this vibe. And everything you need to know about me is in the description below. This will be past, present, or future, you or someone around you. Take a resonate for you rest for someone else. This is a general read. This is not a personal read. If you like a personal read, check out the description below, and I'll be happy to assist you with doing so. Remember that tarot is a tool, and you have to find a rule. And it's a good idea to have an empty cup when you are on Lady Noble's channel and you really want to see what's up. Okay? All are welcome on this channel, and all contributions are highly appreciated. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your kindness. Be sure to tell a family, friend, or phone, or you know, to come on over and subscribe to the channel so they can be privy to these spiritual notifications. There is no space in this place for everyone to be notified. Okay? Today we're talking to the zodiac sign of fire signs. Okay, we're doing a mudra sign for the fire sign. Okay, Sun, Moon, Rising, any placement. Okay. Sagittarius, Aries, Leo, fire signs. Okay. This is the fire signs to feel for the highest spirit. I can be of assistance. I can be of assistance. Okay. 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. And the first card that we have for the collective is the Five of Wands. And the Five of Wands represents, you know, that competitive energy here, okay? This is a minor arcana. It says you may be in the midst of a battle between rivals. In a group setting, there is a fight for dominance and each having their voices heard. However, sometimes competition can be healthy rather than backing down. Embrace the change in differing opinions of others. So there could be some kind of situation, you know, fire signs, you know, and that you could be experiencing or witnessing. Okay, this could be on your job or in your life, in any area of your life. This could be personally, this could be in a family setting, but there could be a lot of disagreements. There could be some decisions that needs to be made, and it requires a group to make the decision. And so it means that, you know, as this card is saying, you know, sometimes it's a healthy thing to compete in a healthy way. So maybe there's a need, there's a reason that you are part of this competitive energy or this group. There's a reason why you are observing this. This could be, and this is something that where your input is required. And so this could be something on the job. Maybe this is part of your job description. Maybe this is a particular department you work in where you have to make a decision. You know, as far as the company's policy, you're in charge of making a decision. Or this could be something in a family setting where you could be maybe someone that's over someone's estate, okay, someone's power of attorney, okay, that's what I'm looking for. And maybe you and someone else are required to gather and make these decisions. Well, Spirit is saying that, you know, this is something that's very important. This isn't something for you to run from. This is not a battle or competition of someone being jealous or envious of each other. This is just needing to work on your skills, fire signs, of listening as well as speaking, being able to communicate effectively. You know, there are many people who are intellectually insecure. There is said I was going to speak on this. You know, this topic could be sensitive for some, but there are people who are intellectually insecure, meaning when they are engaging in different conversations with people, being told to bring this up for someone, you know, they become either upset, angry, you know, become sometimes confrontational because they don't understand the language that's being conveyed to them. And a good way to overcome being intellectually insecure is not being afraid to say, can you put that in simpler terms? Or I don't understand. Can you explain that to me? It happens. No one knows everything. We're all constantly learning. It's nothing to be ashamed of. And if there is something being conveyed to you, whether it's from a court official, an attorney, anyone that works on any kind of a doctor, be sure to just ask the simple question, what does that mean? Can you put that in simpler terms? It does not mean that you're weak, you're dumb, you're not smart. It makes you very wise to want to get a clear understanding, to receive clarity, especially when you're in charge or you have been chosen to make a decision or come to an agreement. And so, this situation I'm picking up, this is either in a workspace where you're in charge of making a decision, but it's a group assignment, or this could be personally within a family. You could be power attorney or guardian over someone, and there are some decisions that need to be made, whether this is a minor child or this could be someone elderly. They could be any age. But Spirit is saying that you were put in this position not only because you are trustworthy, people trust you, they trust that you will make the right decision. There's something about you needing to work on your intellectual abilities. This is not to throw an insult to anyone. This is the message, okay? All right, don't be mad. I still love you, okay? So this is for you to learn to, just as well as you speak, but learn to listen and not be afraid and stop being afraid to open up and say, excuse me, could you explain that in simpler terms? Or, excuse me, what does that mean? When you say that, the person you're speaking to, they will understand immediately that they need to break it down for you. It is better to learn ahead of time than being shy and worried about what someone will think about you, and you've been said yes or signed off on some documents to something and you regret it later because you were too afraid to ask the right questions. So Spirit wants you to surrender the fear, whomever I'm talking to, and you know who you are, of saying, excuse me, I don't understand. Can you break that down in simpler terms? There's nothing to be ashamed of. It's very smart and wise to get clarity. Okay? You were chosen for this for a reason. Okay? And so the next card we have here is the Seven of Wands. You fought your way to the top, but now you have to work to stay there. Hold your ground, prepare for competition coming your way. So you fought your way to top, hold your ground to stay there. So remember to stay grounded. This does not mean that you have to be confrontational. This does not mean someone is coming for you. This card is simply conveying for you to apply yourself in order to maintain your position. If this is at work, where you're in charge, as I said earlier, of making decisions, okay, or you're having to say so. And maybe you work in a department who takes complaints from customers. And maybe you're someone who approves grievances or approves any kind of rite of passage, okay, for a client. Uh, you were put in this position, but in order to stay there, you have to apply yourself. And in order to apply yourself, you have to be willing to work on being intellectually, not being intellectually insecure, being able to speak up, receive clarity, ask the questions that needs to be asked. There's nothing to be afraid of, and there are no stupid questions, okay? The next card we have here is the Hermit energy. The Hermit shows fire signs that you are taking a break from everyday life to draw your energy and attention inward and find answers you seek. Deep within your soul, you realize that your most profound sense of truth and knowledge is within yourself and not in the distractions of the outside world. So you could be someone who stays to yourself. Maybe you get off work and you may do a lot of hobbies, but maybe you're someone to like go to the gym by yourself. Nothing's wrong with that. Pick up someone who likes to work out, or you go home. You get your dinner, you go home, prepare a meal for you and your family, get comfortable, take a shower, and so maybe you've been on reserve regarding this decision that needs to be made, because you could be witnessing people in conflict, and it could be overwhelming you, stressing you out a bit. But your 2 cents is needed. Um, yeah, in order for this to even be approved, even if there's 2 or 3 people, who's over an estate, you are part of the decision being made. And Spirit is saying, feel free to speak up. Okay, and if there's something you don't understand, feel free to ask, what does that mean? Or find out, do the research, look it up, or ask someone. Okay. The next card we have here is the Nine of Wands, and the Nine of Wands represents perseverance. And so it looks like you're going to be just fine. You will work on, not being intellectually insecure, not being ashamed to ask for help or say you don't understand anything. You will be able to overcome this and work on it. You'll be glad that you did. And Spirit is saying you'll also find it easier when communicating with people because you're working on this skill, this trait of yourself, because you're already in a leadership position. You were chosen to be a leader. Okay. The Nine of Wands, it says you're in a final stretch, but not completely done yet. You may be faced with a few more obstacles before crossing the finish line, but you can do it. Okay. I just said you're going to do it. You may feel worn down, but you have the resilience and steadfastness to overcome whatever comes your way. This is the last darkness before the dawn. I just said that you're going to overcome, this ability of not speaking up. You're going to be more vocal. You're going to be speaking up. They're going to be like, look at the collective. They're very chatty now. They're not on reserve. That people will even be in shock. Okay. But it's going to make you feel much, much better. You're going to be so proud of yourself. I just said you're going to overcome this. Okay. All right. You're going to be just fine. You're going to persevere. You're going to get better. Okay. So this reading is clearly just conveying for you not to be afraid to speak up, to use your heckle, to use your voice, to communicate effectively and efficiently, but doing it consistently and doing it with confidence. Okay. Do not allow anything to float past you because of what you think someone may say about you. What? They don't know what that means. Give them the middle finger in your head. Okay, not in their face, but in your head. Just imagine your middle finger going up in it. Ask the question that you need to ask. Never mind them. Okay. All right. And so the next card we have, and this is the last card, this is Judgment. The Judgment card often indicates that you need to make a life-changing decision, fire signs. But unlike those associated with the logical justice, this decision requires you to bend your intuition and intellect. Your intuition and intellect, okay? All right. You are experiencing a spiritual awakening and realize that you are designed for so much more. And you are. That's why you are chosen to be over this estate or have this guardianship of this loved one, this family member, whoever this person is, or on your job. You're being chosen for a leadership position. You are trusted. You are the candidate for this position because you are trusted. And so what Spirit is clearly conveying, now that you are here, stay 10 toes down to maintain your position. Doesn't mean for you to be competitive, doesn't mean for you to become anxious, but for you to do the work that's necessary so that you're giving it your best shot. Not draining yourself, not stressing yourself, but you are giving it your best shot and doing your best, okay? To fulfill your job duties. That's all that they're saying. Any research that needs to be done, feel free to do the research. Anything that needs to be Googled, Google it, And the things I'm naming is something private. You don't have to do these things in front of people. You can do this on the low, if you're concerned with that, but feel free, but you're going to feel better and better. The more vocal you become, the more you choose to speak up, ask questions, even if, we know what it's like going to work, sitting in a meeting. We all know what it's like. And it's like, look, I just want to get the work day over with. But you have a meeting before you start your shift or the meetings before you punch out. And you could be looking at the clock like, look, I'm ready to go. What time? Look, Spirit is saying, look, brace yourself. If they're explaining something in that meeting that you like, wait a minute, this sounds like goulash to me. Fire signs. Speak up. Excuse me. Never mind. It's better to find out now than to regret it later, whatever the question is. Feel free to raise your hand and ask those questions because they always say in every meeting, any questions? And just because you're tired and fatigued, this is for somebody, collector, fire signs. Spirit is saying, yes, they know you're tired. You want to get home to your bed and your hot shower. But look here. Go on and ask the question. Go on and ask the question. We know the feeling of being tired and exhausted and wanting to go on and swipe out and head to the crib. But look, ask that question. Get it done over with. Even in grade school, that one student that always have questions, teacher. We always looked at that person like, oh, they got to be the teacher pet. No, they're not the teacher pet. They're the smart one. They're asking the questions that need to be asked. I just had to bring that up because I just envisioned someone sitting in the class. You could be someone who's going back to school to further your education. Maybe I'm speaking to someone who's in college or in some kind of training or some kind of program. I'm seeing someone sitting in class and you're tired and exhausted, and somebody's asking more questions. It's time to go, but they act. The more they raise their hand, the longer the class have to sit. That kind of thing. Here's one movie read for the fire signs. How can we help them for their highest good? Fire signs. Okay. Mm. Hmm. Okay. The mudra for you fire signs is consolation. Be comforted. Be comforted. Consolation. This is perfect. So be comforted. Be comfortable with speaking up and using that heka and communicating effectively. There is nothing wrong with asking questions. Actually, it makes you the brightest and the smartest person in the room to want to intrigue and know more and receive clarity. Okay? All right? This is called the prayer mudra. Okay? Your breathing and letting things go generally, sorrow, pain, grief, loss will be easier if the fingertips are lying on the backs of your hands. The contact between thumb and index fingers symbolizes the connection between human cosmic consciousness. Let go of everything which is weighing you down, fire signs, and surrender it with the universal consciousness. Become aware of your connection with the cosmos. You see a luminous figure which listens to you, gives you consolation and support. The figure is not there to solve all your problems for you, but you can avail yourself of it. Help and comfort if you let it. The affirmation for this mudra, fire signs. In the exquisite stillness of my soul, I find solace and relief. In the exquisite stillness of my soul, I find solace and relief. So you can screenshot that or take a picture of that, okay? And there's the mudra for fire signs, okay? Comfort, consolation. So this concludes the mudra read for the zodiac sign of fire signs. Later.